A single personnel note, circled twice in red because it fixes a specific leak without punching a new hole in the boat. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report. Tonight I'm walking you straight through the logic the league pretends is secret. Why Chicago is shopping the cornerback market again, what profile actually fits the way this defense plays leverage and disguise, how the cap math protects the core while adding juice, and the one name that checks the boxes if the front office decides to press the button. I'm going to break down role, cost, impact, and risk, and then I'll tell you exactly where I land. Stay with me, because the reveal matters only when you understand the reasons underneath it. Let's set the field the way coaches do on Tuesday mornings. This defense is built on communication and angles. Deny easy access, squeeze the route stems, plaster when the play goes second reaction, and buy the rush and extra heartbeat so Montez Sweat and the games up front get home. When the corner rotation is healthy, the call sheet is aggressive on third down, press looks, simulated pressure, match rules that turn quick game into contested throws. But the reality of the last few weeks is stress on the depth chart. You're all pro on the shelf, snaps redistributed, and role players asked to be role shifters. That's where the micro errors creep in. Late squeeze on an over route, muddied handoff on a bunch release, a missed tackle that turns a 5-yard gain into fresh downs. If you're serious about January, you don't tape it up and hope. You target a clean fix that raises the floor immediately without rewriting the defense or detonating the ledger. Profile first, names later. The right piece is not a boundary diva who needs safety help every snap. The right piece is a corner who can live in the slot and moonlight outside, mirror option routes without panicking, trigger downhill with balance, and tackle well enough that OCs stop calling stick flat on 2nd and 6. He also has to be mentally fast, see the rub, pass it off, stay in phase, and emotionally boring in the best way. Steady eyes, steady feet, steady week. Add the front office reality, expiring deal window so you rent now and decide later, cost controlled enough to roll space into extensions, and a temperament that fits a room that has hardened into a standard. You find that, you stabilize third down and the red zone at the same time. Here's the hint you were waiting for. When I talk to people about inside-out corners who thrive in man-match rules, the same tape keeps coming up. Efficient footwork, sticky at the catch point, experience as a nickel and outside in a pinch, and a contract that doesn't ask you to sell spring for winter. Yes, this is the Alante Taylor conversation. Drafted in the 2nd round, developed in the nickel with stretches outside when injuries forced it, he's the kind of technician who doesn't need the coordinator to baby-proof the call. You're buying short area twitch and competitive toughness, not a circus catch highlight reel. And because his deal runs through this season with free agency opening in 2026, you control the decision after you've seen the fit in your building, not in theory. That's grown-up team building. Let's talk football, not fantasy. In Chicago's structure, the nickel is the conflict defender on more snaps than anyone wants to admit. RPO window one play, hot reads shadow the next, and emergency rally tackler when the quarterback escapes. The wrong fit makes your safeties nosy and your linebackers wide. The right fit compresses windows and lets you heat the passer without bleeding underneath. Taylor's tape answers the job description. He plays through hands at the catch, doesn't flinch in tight quarters, and understands leverage pre-snap so he's not chasing ghosts. Where he helps immediately is on all the little third and mediums that have been coin flips, bunch stack, pivot out, slot fades against inside leverage. He's not a 6'4" gazelle you lock on a boundary alpha for 60 snaps, but he is a true nickel who can kick out when formations force it, and that alignment flexibility is what lets you call what you want, not what you can survive. Quick timeout for something important. If you ride with this channel because you want the logic before the notification, drop a like right now so this reaches more Bears fans who want the plan, not the panic. It matters and it's free. Back to the tape. If your nickel hesitates, the point man is open right now for 6, and the drive goes on. If it's a technician, he takes away the inside hip, survives the rub with active hands, and lives in phase long enough for the ball to be late. That half second is the difference between punting and defending a 2-minute drill. Red zone, same story. condensed splits, double moves designed to steal your eyes, and the slant fade combo OCs dial when they smell blood. A disciplined inside corner with calm feet makes the quarterback come off read one. That's how you steal points without touching the ball. And there's a run fit bonus that gets ignored until January. Nickel as the force player against perimeter runs. No whiffs, no hero angles, just chest up, wrap, roll. You don't have to win viral. You have to win down and distance. What does it cost and how does it fit the books? The grown man version is a conditional day 3 pick with snap and playoff triggers and no future guarantees unless the tape earns it. That preserves space for your core and keeps the comp pick formula in your back pocket if you let it walk. You're not shopping in the top shelf where the price tag includes your next draft. You're buying utility with a clear escape hatch. From the other side's view, there's a reason these calls aren't crazy right now because their depth chart has young DBs they like. They're evaluating what to pay and who to keep, and they know a player on an expiring deal might bring more value as a pick than as a rental. None of that means a fire sale. It means there's a lane to ask like adults. Taylor's reputation around the league is a pro. Coaches like coaching him, teammates like playing with him. That matters in a building where the standard is sweat, not slogans. You want someone who shows up on Wednesday ready to take hard coaching and then plays like the coaching sticks on Sunday. That's the Chicago filter. That's also why this kind of move works now when it might not have 2 years ago. The room is strong enough to absorb a newcomer and expect him to match the rhythm. Let's get into the calendar because timing is half the decision. The deadline is close enough that prices start to clarify and far enough that one weekend can swing a seller into a buyer or vice versa. Chicago's urgency is real but not reckless. You're 4-2 for a reason. The North is a brawl, and the margin in January will be 5 or 6 third down stops over a month. The difference between nice story and dangerous out is whether you can trust your nickel on those downs. If you can, the call sheet stays honest and the pass rush breathes. If you can't, you start playing whack-a-mole. Help here, leak there, and that's how good teams die on the road in the cold. Counterpoints, because this channel respects them. 1. Invest outside corner, not nickel. I hear it. Boundary snaps matter, but the fastest, cheapest way to add expected value right now is to stabilize inside. More targets, more quick throws, more tackles in space. 2. What about tackling consistency? Fair. It has to be steady, but the Bears' tackle meetings are unforgiving. Technique is coached, measured, and enforced. Put a willing athlete with clean feet in that room, and the floor is higher than his worst miss. 3. Don't spend a pick at all. Promote from within. There's a version of the season where that works. There's also a version where you're watching a wildcard game slip away because one roll was 80% instead of 95%. Picks are lottery tickets. Playoff decisions are invoices. You decide what you're paying for. I'm going to hit you with the reveal now because the logic is built. The move on the table that makes adult sense is a swing for Alante Taylor. Slot first with outside flexibility, contract clean, and mentally wired to the job Chicago needs done on the downs that decide seasons. It's not a billboard splash. It's a surgical fix that lets the defense keep being what it wants to be. Aggressive without hemorrhaging, deceptive without confusion, fast without panic. That's how you win in January. And because the contract is aligned with the calendar, you keep all the power after the season. Extend if the fit sings, walk if it doesn't, collect the comp value, move on. That's not hedging. That's how contenders stay dangerous and solvent. Before we land the plane, jump into the comments right now and tell me where you stand. Would you greenlight a conditional day 3 deal for a nickel plus who tightens third down immediately, or hold the pick and ride internal development until December? I read everything, and this community nails the temperature better than most front offices. Drop your take while we're live. It helps push this to Bears fans who want the plan without the noise. Here's my concise read as your guy inside the details. I would do it. Pragmatic cost, clean cap, instant role clarity, and playoff relevant impact. You don't fix every problem with one move, but you can remove one of the few remaining soft spots without rewriting who you are. That's the entire point of deadline season for teams that matter. If the price creeps into crazy or the other room decides to keep him, fine.
Walk and keep your powder dry for a different edge. But if the lane stays open and the numbers sit where they should, I'd make the call. That's my board. Tell me yours below, and if you want these breakdowns first and fast, hit subscribe and tap the bell.